federal immigration enforcement having enacted its own immigration policy that conflicts with federal immigration law, Arizona crossed a constitutional line. Republicans fired back right away today. Arizona Senators Jon Kyl and also John McCain questioned the administration's commitment to border security, and a spokesman for the Arizona governor, Jan Brewer, called the lawsuit, quote, a terribly bad decision. Joining me now is Arizona Congressman Raul Grijalva. He is also the co-chair of the Progressive Caucus. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight. I know you've spent some time at home. What are your constituents saying about this law now that they've had several months to digest it and everybody knew that this federal lawsuit was coming? We keep hearing all these polls and surveys that the people of Arizona want it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's a divided call here in Arizona, but I think that what the Justice Department did today was necessary and a prudent step. It's part of the democratic process. Arizona, through its legislature and governor, passed a law that many of us feel is unconstitutional, and through its racial profiling violates civil rights. It needs to be challenged. Even its more ardent supporters, McCain and Kyl, who Kyl being a lawyer, should know that none of us who take an oath for office to uphold the Constitution would want to be upholding a law that fundamentally violates the Constitution of this nation. I think it is for all our sakes, whether you support or oppose this law, it's good to have this test, it's necessary to have this test, and it's the democratic process. Those that are upset by it and talk about border security or other things should understand that there's not only are we talking about immigration, but we're also talking about basic constitutional protections in this country. And if we allow this slippery slope to begin in Arizona to set a precedent nationwide, then what other constitutional protection, what other constitutional prerogative are we going to lose as a nation? So this law is not only necessary for Arizona, I think it's necessary for the constitutional health of the nation and for the democracy that we're all sworn to upkeep.
Congressman, how much resistance have you gotten from people in Arizona with your position on this?
You know, it's been significant. I mean, people feel that this is should be a state's right prerogative, that we should be able to do what we want. And I remind them, you know, back in the 50s and the 60s, it was all okay to be segregated in the South, and the majority of those residents in Mississippi or Alabama supported those laws. Those laws were wrong. They were overturned, and part of the reason they were overturned was on the unconstitutionality of it.
Yeah.
So before we go down that slope, let's make sure we're doing the right thing, and I don't think we are.
I want your response to this joint statement that Senators McCain and Kyl put out. The American people must wonder whether the Obama administration is really committed to securing the border when it sues a state that is simply trying to protect its people by enforcing immigration law. The Obama administration has not done everything it can do to protect the people of Arizona from the violence and crime illegal immigration brings to our state. Until it does, the federal government should not be suing Arizona on the grounds that immigration enforcement is solely a federal responsibility. Do you think that the Obama administration is doing everything it can? I mean, our sources are obviously, our facts are showing that he has increased border security, not only with equipment, money, and personnel. Your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I think this administration, and we've criticized the Obama administration on not doing enough to move to immigration reform and only concentrating on enforcement. And I find it ironic that it's been Kyl and McCain who have been cheerleaders about enforcement only, and now we have troops on the border in Arizona, 500 plus. We have a fence. We have billions of dollars invested in technology to deal with the issue of illegal entrance. We have 8,000 Border Patrol agents, a 200% increase over 4 years, and more deportations and more detentions under the Obama administration. You know, that's the irony of the McCain-Kyl statement.
Well, I want to, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I really want to get this in. You know, John McCain worked with the late Senator Kennedy on immigration reform, but now it seems that he's done a reversal. He put out a statement today. He wants to deport millions of Americans. What do you make of that?
We're in a political season, and expediency is the byword in this season, and particularly when it comes to the issue of immigration.
Yeah.
John McCain, the maverick, is gone. John McCain, the independent, is gone. John McCain, the expedient, what do I need to do to get elected, is with us, and that's part of what he's doing.
Congressman, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.